And we're live.
Forcing that thing on me. Keep your cheeks to yourself, woman.
What are you talking about, your friend?
Yeah.
What does she do?
She does like the new it's like a stripper class, like stripper exercise classes, but like they borderline are like strippers.
Oh, women are doing this now. Women are becoming, strippers and calling it cardio. Like they're like, I teach a cardio class, and then you show up and it's poles and it's women twirling around the poles. Yeah.
But not like
in bikinis.
Yeah.
And they're like, this is
exercise.
Gymnastics.
Yeah. It'd be one thing if you were in sweats or something.
Shout out to women. They really know how to own all the stuff.
Everything.
All the stuff. They're like, all right, you want to talk about strippers? We're going to call it gymnastics.
Gymnastics.
Yeah.
And like, it'd be one thing if you were wearing a champion sweatsuit. Like, oh, wait, all right, where's my pole out? Let's start working on Nah, you're in the full like G-string and posting it on Instagram. And I'm like, how is this exercise?
Now you bring up a good point. Is a man allowed to take a pole dancing class?
I think totally, yeah.
I mean, you date bisexual men. I'm talking about.
Oh my God.
I'm talking about a straight facing heterosexual man. Is it a masculine for him to take a pole dancing class?
I thought you meant would he not be allowed in? I think anybody's allowed. I just don't think there's a big audience for it.
It's good core.
It's feminine though, of course, right? It is a feminine thing.
I think, yeah.
To be twirling on a.
It's hard though.
On a pole. It's hard.
Yeah, it definitely is. But like, keep your cheeks to yourself.
I've seen girls like who I follow on Instagram. I've seen them get like, because if I follow you, I'm invested in your journey. So I've seen girls get like a stripper pole in their house. They install it, and I've seen them go from like a novice to like, oh, she's getting pretty good.
She's working at this.
Pretty good at this.
Yeah.
Maybe she could pick up some part-time shifts because the way she's twirling is very talented.
You don't get good easily.
And also, I don't understand. I like the pole at the strip club. Is that just to give women something to do? So they're not just standing there? Because I could go to a strip club where the woman comes out naked and just stands there. And I'm like, yeah, this is pretty good. Like
That's very true.
I'll still give you money. I don't need you to do backflips on the pole.
I definitely feel like it's either for the ones who aren't like the staples at the strip club, because I've DJ'd at a strip club. So I know like full.
You got intel.
Club. Yeah, I got the scoop. Full strip club politics where like the ones who have the clientele or they have like the craziest bodies, they're not going on the pole. They actually pay the DJs not to call them up.
No, I mean, New York strippers, they don't dance on the pole.
No.
New York strippers show up in a G-string and Timberlands.
And with the Rolex on.
And and they'll twerk for 20 seconds and then ask you to give them $20,000.
Yeah. But like the other guy just paid them $10,000. So they're like,
which shout out to them.
Yeah.
But then you go like other states and you go to the strip club and the strippers, they have a routine that they have a choreographed routine that they all come down and you there and you're like, is this a play?
But I don't even know. Not only that, like they're naked and like they're doing tricks, they're shooting things out from places, and it's just like, whoa, what is this?
Yeah, New York, I don't think New York doesn't do vagina out.
No, they don't. Well, only if there's no alcohol.
If there's no alcohol, which that's a weird law to pass. They're like, look, you can take out your vagina, but if you take out your vagina, the venue cannot sell alcohol.
Liquor. Yeah.
It's just, that's the rules.
Very true. I think it's
that's the rules. I wonder, did anyone object? Did anyone be like, hey, what does my vagina being out have to do with the alcohol sales? And they're like, it just doesn't mix.
You got to write the state.
It just doesn't mix.
Yeah, you got to write the state.
I went to, I've been to the hole in the wall strip clubs too.
Woo!
In New York. I went to one in
Jersey.
I went to one in Canada. I think I might have talked about this, bro.
Woo!
Oof. It was uncomfortable in there. I wanted to call the police.
Yeah.
This is why I don't get invited to like the sex parties. Because I go to like, and I'm like, this is unsafe. Like the fire code, this isn't up to fire code.
Yeah.
And people are like, what? Dude, like.
You're messing up our
phone. You're messing up everyone's vibe. And I'm just like, all right, I'm just gonna leave.
I'm going to go eat chicken nuggets.
Yeah, I was going to leave. I just have chicken nuggets back in my hotel room.
In my room.
I went to one where it was ghetto, bro.
Woo!
I didn't see a gun. But I felt like there was a gun nearby. I smelled gun smoke. I didn't see a gun though.
Yeah.
But it smelled like gunpowder.
Yeah, definitely.
At the strip club.
Guns.
If you walk into a strip club and it smells like gunpowder, yeah, maybe that's not the club that you need to be at. Or maybe it is.
Maybe that's your vibe.
Because sometimes you go to these strip clubs and you'll see like these people you don't expect. You see like doctors and lawyers and these Jewish accountants. They'll just be at the club and you're just like, oh man, I didn't expect you to be here.
Bro, they are the number one clientele.
Yeah, yeah.
Like in the venues that I've worked in, you'd be surprised. Like I'm talking about they're coming straight off their shift from Wall Street, fully tied, like making sure nobody's seeing them. And then like they walk in and then the hostess is like, hey, welcome back. We have your section ready. What are you drinking? It's like, that's their playground.
I know. It for sure is. It for sure is. I went to, a couple weeks ago, I went to, I don't even know if I'm allowed to say it, but I'll say it. I went to a gambling spot where they were playing poker. Mm-hmm. Like it's like a poker room basically. Mm-hmm. A poker room. But yeah, those are like it's an underground poker game, and it was like that. Like it was like the people were like lawyers and doctors. And like high value clientele, and it was weird to see that because. That's why racism and sexism and all that is so silly.
It's all bullshit.
Because everyone is just a human and prone to like the same proclivities.
Yeah, the same
as others. Yeah, I've been using big words lately. I don't know.
What's up? You want to play Scrabble?
I don't know. I think my beard, like, it allows me to, like, I don't know, like my jaw feels like more.
You can think better?
Yeah. So it just comes and I say it.
Okay. Yeah.
What's new with you though?
Man, actually, I had a family member that was in the emergency room, and that's one of the last places that I ever want to be in, ever. Like the hospital emergency rooms, I don't like. I'm not with it.
No, the ER is in depending on what hospital you go to and what neighborhood you in, I equivocate. I don't even know if that makes sense.
All right.
But
do we have a Scrabble
I'll
board?
Go with it though. I equivocate
I got a dictionary app too. Nigga.
Emergency room to be just as uncomfortable as a strip club.
Probably maybe even more.
Maybe more because in the emergency room, people are bleeding next to you.
Literally, no, not okay. Bleeding is one thing, but in the emergency room, people are also like defecating. That's a Scrabble word, right? Right next to you. And like the smells that were going on in there, like I needed a mask and my hoodie. I basically needed a spacesuit. Yeah. And I get it because like, you know, the I don't even know if they're nurse techs, like right below the nurse, like the techs that set up everything. I know that they're going through everything, but like I need Chick-fil-A to open up an emergency room or do like some emergency room training. So like, cause they are, and I get it, you're dealing with gunshots and stabs. So like they're overworked too. They probably worked a lot of hours, but like there's no humility in there. You know what I mean? It's just like no, what you need. Like,
no. The nurse staff in emergency rooms, they behave like Jamaicans at a Jamaican restaurant.
You couldn't have said it better.
They are very unhappy that you're there.
Very unhappy. And what you want.
Yeah, and when they know that, because it's like the Jamaican restaurant knows that the food is bomb. And it's bomb. And then the hospital knows that you have a stab wound.
You want it.
So you're not going to go anywhere.
You want to live.
So that gives you the freedom of, we can just treat this person however we want to treat.
However we want. And you have no say in this.
Yeah, so it's very, you have to go, I think emergency rooms, Jamaican restaurants, DMV.
The DMV.
These are all places where they're going to be rude to you. They know you have no other option.
It doesn't matter how nice you try to
The airport sometimes, at the airport when your flight is canceled, if it's like bad weather, they're like, get out of my face. Because every airline is shut down and there's nowhere you could go.
Especially like at JFK, I think like one of the job prerequisites is we need you to be as rude as possible.
Yeah.
Especially like at Terminal 4, Delta.
That's my people.
I think Terminal 5 is JetBlue. Extra rude. It's just like, no, you're being too nice. Turn the rudeness up.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I get that vibe in the emergency room. I mean, when you approach an emergency room window, you have to almost bow, I think. You have to go in there like, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I apologize.
They want you to
I understand that they pay you to intake patients, but I'm sorry that I even got stabbed.
That I'm here.
Yeah, I wish I wasn't stabbed and bleeding out. But if you could permit me a bed where I can bleed out and not die in your lobby, I'd really appreciate it. And they're like,
The line is back there. The line is back there.
Like, there's no line. Is no one here. And she's like, the line is back
and then
there.
she closes the
and then closes
it on you.
And then
girl,
you sit down.
Let me tell you what this.
You sit down and you apologize. Yeah, and then she starts talking.
And then, girl,
you apologize.
This nigga had the audacity to get a mustache.
Yeah,
like, whoa, wait a minute.
They don't even wait for you to walk away. There's like this idiot walked up with a mustache thinking I'm gonna help him because he's stabbed.
Got something
I don't
wrong.
give a fuck if you stabbed. That's how they talk.
Yep.
But it's a very tough thing.
Damn, were you there?
I frequent emergency rooms a lot.
You're a big emergency room guy?
I live alternative lifestyles.
Man. And then don't get a lot of people like are just sour people. And hospitals, when you have to share a room, I think it goes off of insurance, which is, I just learned that, where like if you don't have the best insurance, they're putting you with whoever is in there.
I think it goes by your race. Because every time, I've never been teamed up with anything else. I think they literally be like, all right, this black guy there, give him an old black woman.
Yep.
That'll even them out.
Even them out.
Because I never, even like I went to visit siblings, it's always the same race.
Yep.
Generally.
And no, this time it was actually an old white lady. But like,
oh, really? You got lucky. You must have went to a fancy one. They probably ran out of blacks.
But she was the meanest old white lady I've ever been.
So she red black.
Yeah. Like everything was F this and S this and like mother F this. And it was just like, you mean old lady. Nobody visited her. So I was just like, I almost felt for her, but then the way she was speaking to the nursing staff, it was just like, oh, okay, I understand why nobody's coming to see.
Big announcement. I am going to be filming my third comedy special, December 21st, in New York City, Saturday night. Tickets are on sale right now. You can go to ianlaralive.com and scroll down to December 21st and you can buy tickets. I'm filming it at LPR, La Poisson Rouge, which is a rock club in New York City. The tickets are gonna sell out, so please jump on them. We're already down to like the last few tickets on show one. We're gonna add another show most likely. So get your tickets, ianlaralive.com. Come watch me film my third special. I've been touring for 2 years and it's ready for you guys. Thank you. Volume 78. Welcome back to the Adulthood podcast.
Hey.
Coming at you Sunday, October 6th.
Damn, it's October already?
Yeah, that's crazy. The year's blowing by.
Yeah, it's about to be New Year's, son.
Damn.
Yeah, bro.
It always does. It always blows by.
I feel like after after May, it accelerates.
September went by super fast.
It's like a blink.
And September is usually a slow month.
That's your birthday month.
They have the song, Wake Me Up When September Ends.
I don't know that one.
Yeah, that's a song, because September, it's a nothing month. There's not a lot.
No, Earth, Wind, and Fire.
I know, the 25th?
21st.
Or 1st, yeah.
Do you remember?
Speaking of Earth, Wind, and Fire, I got the Gladys Knight gig this week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's big.
Yeah, this Friday, I'll be, the Friday we record, not the Friday it comes out. I'll be at the NJ Packed Arena,
NJ Packed.
opening for Gladys Knight. I don't know how it's going to go.
There's going to be a lot of grantees in there. You have some grantee stuff?
Bro, I know. Everyone just says, just do your thing. Don't worry about making them laugh. I'm like, don't worry about making them laugh.
That's literally
what they hired.
That's literally in your job description.
Yeah. But
I think talk about arthritis. Arthritis is big in that.
I gotta write something about arthritis.
Yeah.
But I think sometimes when people are like twice your age older and you talk about being old, they don't like it.
Yeah, because you're not there.
Yeah, they feel like you don't even know what you're talking about. We're twice your age. So I don't know how I'm gonna attack them.
But we're also at that stage too where we're in the foyer of adulthood, if that makes sense. Like we're at that point where like we're starting to recognize some of the stuff that they've been talking about for 20, 30, 40 years.
Yeah,
you know?
For sure.
Yeah.
But there is times where you still feel young.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's weird. Like I feel young and old at the same time. Like I still have a lot of energy to do some nonsense. And sometimes I do. But then sometimes it's like, bro, what are you doing? Like, put the Sour Patch down, all right?
No, bro, but like I told you, I was at the party, at the venue where I went upstairs to the club and there was a lot of like 21-year-olds, and it's like, I'm now 14 years older than a 20-year-old.
Yeah.
That's a lot, bro. 14 years older than a 20-year-old.
That's a whole child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I had a kid at 20, he'd be in high school.
High school right now. You'd have to go to PTA meetings and...
I should have had a kid. I always say that I should have had a kid at 20.
Yeah. I think it gets harder too when you get old. Like think about it. We're gonna be like elder millennial parents.
I think men get more women when they're single dads.
Oh, please expound.
I think women like a single dad.
Please expound.
They claim that they don't, but I believe that like if you are a man who has a child and you love that child, women like that.
Now, are you talking about single dads who have sole custody or like single dad period?
No, you got to be in the kid's life.
Yeah, you have to be around.
Period. Yeah, you got to be in the kid's life. Single dads who, if you're a single dad who has custody of the kid,
golden.
That's like a basketball player. The amount of vagina that you're gonna get.
That gets thrown at you.
Yeah, that's like NBA.
Because
top level.
Is it because you give off responsible?
I don't know what it is, but I know that if you tell a girl, "Hey, I can't go on a date because I got to watch my baby," they love that. They don't like it
when it happens.
It's not overt, but they like it. Like it keeps them drawn to you.
Okay.
This guy will make a good father. I think women are correct me if I'm wrong, but I think women are generally just looking for dads. In their partner. I think that's definitely women who want a family.
Yeah.
Shout out to all the cat ladies.
Do you think that is that why you wore that vest?
For the cat ladies?
Yeah. Big shout out to the cat ladies. Do you think the opposite is true?
That guys are looking for moms?
Yeah.
I think guys are looking for moms in dating. Like they want to be mommied. Like they want, sometimes I feel like women are literally mommying their boyfriends, like raising their boyfriends. Sometimes they want that. But I don't think generally speaking, most men see a woman with a kid and be like, oh, I want parts of that.
Big shout out to all the MILFs though.
No, but shout out to them because I dated a girl with a kid.
Did you?
I dated a couple girls.
I think we talked about this.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I was like a stepdad. They cool. They cool. The kids be cool. Yeah. The only thing that's a problem is if the dad, like if they split, then it's cool. Because you'll have time. But if the dad's not involved, then like getting dates could be tough because they have to take care of their kids.
Full time.
Yeah. But women with kids, they tend to be more grounded. They tend to be more loving.
They can cook.
Yeah, they can't go out
all the time.
Most nights.
It's a schedule.
Which is nice.
I think.
But then they have the thing that teachers have where they get a night off. And they gotta do a month of partying on that night
in 6.5 hours.
Yeah,
and let me tell you something. Back in my day, when I was in between relationships, that was a great time.
Oh, the moms?
Yeah, that was definitely a great time because it's right to the business. Like I remember one time, I was out of college. I was in between relationships. I was single. I was single, and single mothers were definitely into my physique, for lack of a better term. And it was just great because it was just like, hey, my son has basketball practice between X and X. This is the only time that I have. You need to come over. And it wasn't no games. It was just like, hey, I was just like, I walked in the door and I'm like undressed. I'm like, here's orange juice for potassium to give me some energy.
Vitamin C, yeah.
And she went to it and she was just like, you need to leave. I was just like, perfect. What is this? Yeah. Like this really.
When somebody tells you, it's kind of jarring because you're just not used to it. But in reality, you're like, oh, perfect.
Yeah. It was great. I was just like, oh, I can do this. Yeah. And I had a peanut butter sandwich. Like I had a to-go box.
Yeah, they made you like a lunch box.
Yeah, like a lunch. I was like, man.
Now, Carmen, have you ever dated a guy with kids?
No.
No.
But I have friends who have.
And what
was their experience?
I think it totally depends on if the kid is in the guy's life. Because like my friend dated a guy who had a daughter who is completely estranged from and like not a vibe.
Yeah.
He ended up being wild.
No kidding. That was a red flag.
Yeah, that's a red flag.
He has a kid that he doesn't.
He doesn't take care of.
Doesn't
claim.
I never understood. That's a different type of person. Like the fact that you could create a person and then be like, that's not normal.
Like, sorry, whoops. My dad didn't claim me, so
I guess in the only even kind of rationale that I can see is sometimes they're like, it's not the kid. I hate the mom, and the mom made it impossible for me to be there. So
you bring up a good point. Yeah, definitely bring up a good point.
It's usually not the kid. They'll just be like, I couldn't stand the mom.
Yeah,
she's just a terrible person.
No, and you know what? You bring up a good point that doesn't really get discussed a lot. But like, there's some parents where the relationship is damaged to the point where like it's just they make it impossible for you to even like see the kid. Like, and you try, because I have some friends where like they want to be a part of the kid's life. Like they're trying to be around, like, but the mom is just like so, or not even the mom, just the relationship is so sour that they don't even want them around. Like and it's challenging because it's just like, you know, you're trying to do the right thing. It could be, I don't know too many mothers who've been in this situation, but you could be trying to do the right thing. You be trying to show up. You're trying to play the child support or whatever. You're trying to do whatever to be in your child's life. And the mom's just like, no, kick rocks.
Yeah, that's a thing. That's a thing a lot. I think now, I mean, back in the day, I think it was more prevalent, but I think now it's becoming more like people are having kids off one night stands and being like, we're just going to co-parent for the next 40 years.
Yeah, that's crazy,
you know,
in itself.
Yeah, the one night stand kid. That's bad.
Yeah.
What would you rather? Would you rather you have a one night stand? Would you rather it ends in a pregnancy or a STD?
Whoa.
If you had to pick one.
I'm going pregnancy. Nah, I don't know.
What?
That's crazy. What kind of STD
it depends
is it?
What STD?
Yeah, what kind of STD you talking about?
If we're talking gonorrhea, chlamydia, I mean, that's not even...
You can deal with the 2 weeks?
Give me that.
Yeah.
2 weeks. Give me that. I think it's less than that.
Yeah.
I think you get a shot and you're good.
You're good.
Over a kid, give me that.
Yeah, I spoke to...
I mean, I don't know. I might...
But what if you're getting that thing?
Like what? Like herpes?
Something that's not going away.
Bro, I might take herpes. Over a kid. I got friends with herpes who talk about it publicly. It's nothing. I think a lot of people are not educated on herpes. For real. I think, especially in Black culture, you get raised to think that it's like, people think it's HIV, but it's literally nothing. According to my friends, I got my friends, they talk about it. Like,
that's crazy. So that's what you would go with?
Off of somebody I didn't know?
Yeah.
A stranger? I'm not talking about
something
a baby.
That's not going away.
Bro, but I'm not talking... Same with the baby. I'm not talking about a girl that you could convince and she's like, all right, maybe, you know, I don't know you. Maybe I won't have this baby. I'm talking about a red state, Bible Belt, Christian woman that fucked you on the first night and got pregnant and is like, I'm keeping this baby.
Okay.
And or a STD.
I'm talking about like, but what if you get that thing that like it's not going away?
Like herpes?
No, like HIV.
Well, HIV, that's different, right? That obviously not that, even though I think we're very close to a cure.
I've seen a lot of commercials.
So yeah, I've seen the commercials.
I've seen all the commercials.
I think they do PrEP.
Any kind of black TV show.
They do PrEP. There's the pill you could take before it so you don't get it. So all right, barring the major one, which is
Tremby or something like that, right?
Those HIV AIDS will kill you. They can kill you potentially.
Yes.
So obviously I wouldn't do that. But under that, like I guess under that umbrella, like the next one would be like, what other STD even does anyone even care about? Herpes. But people don't really care about it like that.
Yeah.
They don't. Obviously I want nothing, but I'm giving you a hypothetical of a bad situation.
Yeah.
And if
you're choosing herpes, I'm choosing the kid.
You choose the kid?
I'm choosing the kid.
What if it's a girl you hate? Or what if it's a girl who's let's just say not your type?
Yeah. I mean, like you said, people co-parenting off of one night stands. The baby shower, I come through with the Burberry shirt. You know what I'm saying? What if the kid turns out to be 6'9"? You know?
I mean, that's pretty fair for you to think that could happen.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's true.
I don't think I'm in the same boat as that.
Yeah, 2 elephants don't make a giraffe. That's true.
All right, so maybe I'll
shout out to John Brown.
Maybe I'll have the kid then.
Yeah. What if he comes out super funny and a mustache?
He's not gonna be funny.
You don't think your kids are gonna be funny?
Nah.
Guy or girl?
Funny usually don't give funny.
I don't know if I agree with that. I feel like funny people normally have at least one funny parent. Am I wrong?
Well, no, yeah, my parents were both very funny, but I meant like professionally funny.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's so true. I'm like, are there any like father-son comic duos?
But it's not a dad. I mean, well, I guess the older one. The Wayans, I guess, is the closest. They got kids, but none of them compared to the dad.
To the dad, okay, all right.
To Keenan.
I'm thinking I I think we just stumbled on something.
What would you rather?
What?
STD or baby?
Well,
One night stand, you hate the guy.
And I have to keep the child?
Yes, if you live in Texas.
I think I'm going STD.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Me too.
I have good health insurance.
Yeah.
Also, I'm like, from a
plus
financial perspective, it's a no-brainer.
I mean, you're talking about a shot versus hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Well, my only argument was going to be if abortion was allowed, I think it is just a cost on cost. Because I'm like, if you get a really bad STD versus an abortion, an STD could be more expensive to treat depending on where you're at.
What's a really bad STD?
If you're going splitsies.
What's a really bad STD?
I feel like, have we talked about crabs? I feel
crabs is, come on, that's kids' STD. That's an STD for kids. That's like lice.
Imagine.
But it still happens, I think.
Yeah, but I would take lice over a baby.
But crabs are still popping out there?
No, I haven't heard crab cases.
I'm just thinking of the worst crab, or the worst.
Call in if you had crabs.
I haven't heard about that in a minute. Yeah. Right? But imagine the therapy session for this kid. Like, my dad chose an STD over me. Like, that's gotta be.
Well, he wouldn't be here.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's gotta be a lot to unpack, though.
I'm saying you can't give me a STD and the baby.
Oh shit.
If I chose the STD, the baby would never be in therapy. Okay. Yeah, he doesn't exist.
Yeah, that's true.
What would you choose, Johan?
I mean, you guys kind of convinced me. I was gonna say the baby, but I think the STDs. If we're able to cure it. Then
if we're able to cure it, it doesn't even. I mean, it's not even.
That's why I'm like, this question is
doesn't
even
compare.
Financially. It's
that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm like the only way to because I'm thinking like you're going like the top tier STDs. That's crazy. I never heard of that before. Versus like if a top tier STD, no one's gonna pick
HIV, AIDS,
right?
Okay, because you're putting your health
a death wish.
You're putting your health at risk. But
same with a baby.
Everything under that. But the caveat is that you hate the person.
Yeah.
That's one thing I couldn't do.
If you get along, the person's cool, you'll be like, all right, we can co-parent.
Yeah.
No.
You just hate the person.
Yeah.
And people are going to be like, oh, why would you sleep with somebody if you hate them? Because I'm horny.
And I'm drunk.
And you might not know you hate them at the time.
Right?
Yeah.
Nah, you probably,
you know.
You get hate flags.
You know.
Yeah. You never, can you say that? Can we say, you never hate, like, I don't like you, but.
You never told the line of a fiery love?
Yeah.
I put it in the Shakespeare. I made it sound Shakespearean.
It's a one-night stand.
I made it sound Shakespearean. Yeah, but you never, I mean, I'm pretty sure, because it's happened to me when I was outside banging, but now, it wouldn't happen now, but has it, you've been out with a guy where you're like, this person is really like uncomfortable. Like I'm like, for lack of a better term, I don't want to say I hate him, but I'm just gonna be like, this isn't like, I'm not having a good time with this person. But they might be attractive. Maybe you're horny. It's been a few
tequila shots.
Hours.
Yeah.
So maybe
there's some to see flowing,
That has to happen because guys are terrible. I mean, there's no way every guy you dated was cool.
No, didn't say that. Yeah.
But vice versa too. Like not every girl you've dated has been cool.
Oh, the minority of them.
Okay.
That's just dating. It's
that's just dating.
Yeah.
That's just dating. I generally haven't dated, I don't think I've dated like bad people where I would be like, this is a bad person.
Yeah.
I have a couple people where I'm like, you're kind of a bad person. But most people just not compatible to me. And that makes it bad. Not that they were bad. They just weren't compatible to me.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'd rather them give me a STD.
There you go. Then have a baby with them.
Yeah.
You bring up a good point. You did want to be a lawyer.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm 100% convinced, but
about the baby?
I can see your argument.
I mean, anyone choosing a baby whatever. Yeah, some people choose a baby, right? Some people would be like, no, but I'm giving you the choice. It's not like you have to have an abortion. I'm giving you the choice. The baby doesn't exist. So you can be anti-abortion and pick STD.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. So I was going to say that some like people are more fanatical and they'll be like, oh, I don't believe in it. And it's like, all right, but the baby doesn't exist in this scenario. It's like God asking you, son, what would you like tonight?
Two paths.
What would you like tonight?
The red pill or the blue pill?
Yeah, you choose.
You choose. The choice is yours.
Yeah. I thankfully, knock on wood, I've never had to, but I imagine, I actually asked a friend about this because I always thought that calling somebody and telling them that you got tested and tested positive for something has to be like an embarrassing thing. But most people say it's really not. And then when they explain it, I'm like, oh yeah, I get how it's not. Because they're like, if you're calling somebody saying like, hey, I got something, like the person on the other end is like, oh, I probably got it too. So it's like you're both got the thing.
Yeah. But I've also had friends where like that's happened, like the one night stand and the girl got pregnant and she kept the baby and they had to co-parent. He had to co-parent even though he knew nothing about the girl. And
co-parent separately though.
Separately. Yeah. But still, it was just
know multiple people like this?
Yeah.
Now, do you know anybody who went out, one night stand, got a girl pregnant, and stood with the girl and raised the baby?
Yes.
And they're together?
They're together.
What?
Yeah. But like, all right, case of point. Tyreek Hill has had like 10 children.
I think he's at 11.
He's at 11,
I think
right?
so.
Yeah.
I might be wrong.
Yeah. He's definitely co-parenting off of one night stands. But Miami's crazy too. Miami will do that to you.
But he just got to Miami.
Yeah, but still. Exactly. I'm coming from Kansas City to Miami, bro.
How many baby moms does he have?
I think 5.
5.
And he just got married too. So congratulations.
Yeah, he just got married. He was in the press conference. He was talking about my wife.
At church.
Like your wife.
And he's still out here wilding, bro. Come on, son. That's crazy. Miami will do that to you. He probably, let me stop.
He has 4 baby mamas and 6 children.
Okay.
He only got 6?
Yeah, that's what this says.
Only?
No. I thought he had more than that.
No,
6.
But 6 in a year. Like 3 of them in the same year, right?
That's crazy.
He has twin daughters with the person he's married to right now.
Okay, so
6 is not bad.
What about the other
athlete?
4? When were the other 4 born?
He had 5 kids in 1 year.
Boom.
Shout out to him. He's living.
This is what I'm talking about. Yeah.
He's here for a good time, not a long time.
Crazy.
Not here for a long time.
What's his nickname? The Cheetah?
The Cheetah, baby. That's crazy. 5 in 1 year. That means you got to go to like 5 emergency rooms. You got to go to like
5 showers.
5 burps.
That's crazy, son. And you're married?
Being a dad, having to go to a baby shower for a kid with a girl that you don't like or want has to be top 3 worst things a man could ever have to do. You got to sit there and like just be like, yeah, that's my baby. and in your head, you're like, I should have just went home and eat chicken nuggets that night.
I should have just got the vino.
I shouldn't have went for the club.
Yeah.
And for a woman too, like just carrying a guy's baby who you hate.
Who doesn't want to be with
every
you?
time you see it, every time you see the guy, you're like grossed out.
Right.
And then you have a baby that'll look like him. That's tough.
That's gotta be tough. That's definitely gotta be tough. Imagine Thanksgiving.
Now these guys ain't coming to Thanksgiving.
Yeah, but the kid is.
Yeah. But then you have a kid and he'll make it to the NFL.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's why you gotta kind of roll
think
the dice.
long term.
Yeah.
Oh, we got a call, right?
Yeah.
Hi, Adulthood podcast. JCM, Johan, and Carmen. I thought I was going to say thank you. I usually listen to this like on meal prepping or in between days, if I work from home and just want to listen to half of the things that I just want to laugh at, keep it light, even if I don't agree with it. And I think it's important to talk about women that are in their 30s and don't have a relationship. It was super chill to hear that, at 26, like, literally your life has just started. So, like, there's just no capacity. I was in a relationship till I was 30, and while I learned a lot, I lost a lot of, like, that time frame. I'm curious about Marty. So I know it's not my business, but I did enjoy her voice, her style, everything, and I was pretty impressed. Is Marty okay? And it's okay if she got like another opportunity, obviously, just like curious. All right, have a good week.
Yeah, no. Marty's great. Marty's good.
Marty's living life.
Marty's following her she's finding herself.
She's blessing the rain.
Yeah, she's good. She's good. And she still listens, so she'll
laugh and text us.
Shout out to Marty.
Yeah.
On the first half of the call, she was saying that she wants to talk about women in their 30s. Is that what it says?
Yeah, dating.
And their sex lives?
Yeah, I think she said she was in a relationship for a while and then she got out of the relationship like around when she turned 30.
30?
So she feels like she's like starting over a little bit.
Oh, she's starting
over.
over?
The vibe.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
I think
Mad Sex in the City. All right.
yeah, that's this Sex in the City. I think that women in their 30s is great.
I first of all, shout out to all the women in their 30s.
Yeah.
This is random, but it kind of relates. But like also women in your 30s, make sure you know who your friends are that you go on vacation with. I had one of my homegirls tell me about like a horror story about like horror story. She went on vacation with some of her friends. She found out one of her friends it was a friend of a friend, was actually a whore, and was like basically trying to sell that thing to the security guard at the
sell it?
Yeah.
Nah, trying to sell it internationally. They don't even have money like that.
International selling to the security guard at the resort that they were staying at. And like, be careful who you go on vacation with. This is totally random, but this relates to the 30s, right? We're talking about women in their 30s.
International vagina selling
it.
Is insane.
Selling that thing.
I mean, you're not supposed to come from here to sell it over there. That's not how God intended it.
No.
To happen. But I will say that is true because a lot of times what happens is we become friends with the people we work with.
Yes.
And at work, you can have a 33-year-old become friends with a 22-year-old, right? And then you see the 22-year-old and you're like, oh, we should link up. Let's go get a drink. And then you go get a drink with the 22-year-old and she's trying to sell her vagina to the security guard in Cancun.
At the resort you're staying at.
Right. So it's like you need to do more vetting. I'm not real pro on young 20s.
No.
I think
stay away from that.
Under 23, 24, no matter what the gender is or non-binary, you just don't have enough life experience for us to kick it.
And you're also dangerous. You're open to so many different experiences and you don't know what your life is like, what your life is about yet, which is fine, which is fair. I didn't
either. No, I'm not judging them. I'm just saying do that over there.
Yeah, do that over there. But also in your 30s, you have to be aware that like you came from that. You know that, what that entails. That entails like Irish car bombs at a work function. That entails Incredible Hulks at like a networking function where it's just like you don't need to be doing that in your 30s because your body can't handle that.
I think this is the best time ever for women to be dating in their 30s. I think.
Please expound.
I think back in the day, if you were over 24 years old and wasn't married with multiple kids, I think they would like stone you.
Shamed.
In town square.
1989.
Which I always disagreed with.
Yeah.
But now I think that it's like normalized, like women 30, 40, no kids, and they're thriving. Sarah Jessica Parker, through the city with like fake, Dior shoes or whatever, the red bottoms, that the red pills at the bottom.
Yeah, 1000%.
So I think it's great. Like if you just got out of a relationship, I have friends like this who are in their 30s and sometimes they feel, because obviously society will put on,
pressure,
weird pressures on you. But I always tell them, I'm like, no, it's no pressure no more. You figure it out.
Live your life.
Halle Berry just had a kid at 52.
Shout out to Halle Berry.
And obviously you're not Halle Berry and you probably don't have the same money or, vagina that she has. But that's just to say that you can wait also. There's no pressure.
There's no pressure. It really is no pressure. And you know what? I think it's also, on a more serious note, the women that I know that are like in their 30s and dating, they're also like unpacking all of the stuff that like they've gone through from teenage life and 20s. And they're in a more healthier place to be in that long-term relationship if that's what they're looking for.
She said that when she dated in her 30s, she dated till she was 30, she was in a long-term relationship. And she said she learned a lot, which that's important. They're learning a lot because when you date somebody in their 20s, it's whether they're a man or a woman, you are teaching a lot.
A lot.
It's a lot of teaching.
A lot.
And I imagine as you get older, it continues, but like just the 20 is just such a formidable age that it's like you just, some of the things you feel like are so obvious, you just feel like you gotta teach them like their kid.
I have a question though.
Please.
Do you think that it's more, not that it's more formidable, but like it depends on where you go through your 20s at, like your location? Because I feel like your 20s in New York, it's weird. You're experiencing more things, but you're also a little bit younger versus like, because my friends that graduated and moved back to their cities and their towns. By like 24, 25, 26, they're married. They're like, they got a mortgage and stuff. So like they're more mature on the life scale, right? But like they also like don't have the same experiences like staying out all night and seeing like, you know, narcotics at a party. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not, I'm not technically a doctor.
Okay.
You know, we give advice, we coach people, we're therapists, but we're not accredited by any type of serious
Full Sail University.
Right, you know. But I don't know that partying or drinking a lot or sleeping around or being around drugs, I'm not sure that's necessary for your growth as a person.
As a person, no.
You know, so I think that if you've done those things and you realize that you don't like them, that's cool. You live that phase and you don't have a yearn for them. You don't have a...
I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch that. Please try again.
They're always listening for
us. Your accents. Yeah. Sorry for sorry.
Oh, yeah.
It's the
New
mustache.
Yeah. So yeah, like I was saying, I it's nice when you live those things because you're like, oh, I've already been through these things. I don't have to do them anymore. And you don't have this yearn or glamorization of it. But I don't like some people are just not built for that. Some people not like just because some people I think be like 22 and ready to get married.
Yeah, that's a fact.
They just like that. They were just raised around that, and that's what they want.
That's what they like.
Now those people, more likely than not, will be in their 30s and single, like the girl who just called. But if it works out for you, it's fine. You don't need to experience it.
Because you're not missing anything.
No.
It's actually better for you to, if that's what you're naturally like predisposed to, start saving your money, get your house, get your fence. You know what I mean?
The people who are, chronic partiers, I don't get it. And I enjoy a party. I like to party. I enjoy a party. But I need it to be, it has to be far and in between. Like I can't be a party every night guy because I get in my head at parties where I'll be like, what am I celebrating?
Bro.
Go home. You haven't even done your taxes, bro.
Hence.
And you out here partying?
Hence the conflict. I'm a DJ.
Yeah, but that's good because it's work. It's not even partying.
Nah, but the thing is too, I think especially like in my 20s when I was really in it, it was just like, I felt like I was a better DJ because I was like a part of the scene. Yeah. I was partying. If I wasn't DJing, I was still going out, because you kind of, it's almost like basketball and shooting up your jump shots, where it's just like you got to know what's hitting, you got to know what's in the mix. Like
you got to be outside.
You got to be outside. I feel like I'm like at the point where like technically I'm sharper than ever, but like because I'm not outside all of the time, I feel like, and maybe the music isn't like, it's different. Everything is different, but like, I feel like I'm like kind of rusty. I'm kind of like not inspired. I'm kind of like, I've done this for so long where it's just like, man, like another turn up. Okay, I get it. You know what I mean? Like, but
I think I know exactly what you mean. And I think it's the same with like dating. Like for our caller who she was when, in a relationship and then you get out the relationship and you get thrust back outside. You're like, I don't even know how to go on dates. What do I do? Am I supposed to ask them about their upbringing? Do I ask them for money? Like, what do I do?
Is he into getting pegged?
Yeah. Like how do I bring up pegging?
Subtly.
It's a lot of like unanswered questions when you got to go. But when you're dating and you going on multiple dates, you're like in and out.
It's reflexive.
It's like, you're like, oh, red flag, I'm out. Or this person's cool. Maybe second date. This person's cut off. This person, you're in the game.
Your timing is better.
Yeah. I think it's important to just live life though. Don't, enjoy all the moments. That's where life happens.
That's a great piece of, that's a t-shirt.
Life happens in the moments.
That's a t-shirt. That's a card. That's like a Hallmark show. Like what's wrong with you right now? Is it the leopard?
And a cologne. The moments.
By Lara.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes people need a reminder. They need to be reminded to experience these things.
I think also too, and this is a radical take, but like I feel like more people are leaning towards being healthier in the sense of like, I feel like college kids, I don't know, beer was the number one thing when we were in school, but I don't think beer is as popular. Maybe I haven't been in college for how long, but I feel like beer isn't that popular anymore. And I feel like because of everything that's been going on.
You haven't been in college in 15 years.
Probably longer, right? So I don't know what.
Oh my God.
It's crazy.
We are old.
We're old, right?
Men.
Right?
That is insane,
It's wild.
bro.
I don't even know. Like,
Oh my God.
washed and then super washed.
Oh my God.
And then mega wash, right?
15 years.
It's crazy. It's crazy. I know, but it's awesome. But at the same time, too, like I feel like the things that we were into when we were in school, like the younger kids they're not into, but then us as adults, where it's just like, man, like I just know for myself, I can't really binge drink like that. I can't like I can't be getting drunk. But also I have to work out. I have to eat right. So I feel like a lot of people in my generation, they're starting to lean more towards that. I could be wrong, but this is just an assumption.
No,
So,
I think you're right. I think a lot of people are taking control of their
health.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you have to. Like you literally. I mean, some people don't, but you literally feel like you have to. Like I'm on vitamins.
Oh,
I be doing vitamin drips. I'm taking all this thing because
You're a big dripper?
I have to, bro. If I don't. I feel like I'm dying.
Oh man.
I feel like my body.
What's your blend?
Is unraveling. I get like when I go to the drip. To the thing.
Yeah.
I get like a thing. You go in and you're like, I just want an IV, and then they're like, well, this one helps you with breathing, and this one makes your erections last longer.
Yeah.
And you're like, give me all of them.
Can I get two of that? The last one.
And then you do the whole package. But I'm ignorant to it.
Okay.
Like I go, they start saying B12, B13,
B complex.
Anytime I hear complex, I'm like, I want it.
Want that? Okay.
Yeah, because it sounds complicated.
I'm
like,
definitely
that's probably good for me. So I get all the complexes, all the Bs. I know that. Vitamin C, because I know that's good for your immune system.
Absolutely.
And then I don't get a lot of sun. So I'm like, do y'all have a sun here that y'all can just shine on me? And they're like, red light. Yeah, they're like, you can sit in the light while we stab you up. So I do all the things. I go to get a drip. I spend $400,
bro. And now I'm not spending $400 in the club when I just spent $400 on the drip.
No, No, I get. I
can't.
Yeah,
I mean, it could, but I just don't want to.
No, I can't. I can't buy a bottle. I just bought a vitamin. I just bought a vitamin drip.
I'm a B12.
I can't afford a bottle.
B complex. Glucosamine for the knees.
I love a glucosamine.
Zinc to help me sleep.
Glucosamine, I think that's like good sugar.
Good sugar.
Yeah.
Right.
And zinc for the sleep. Yeah.
Glutamine for the muscle recovery. Because when I want to work out. So like
I need muscle recovery when I slept all day.
Yeah. Walk up the stairs.
And I'm like, I need the muscle recovery.
Yep.
Like I feel like I ran a marathon.
Yeah, absolutely. That's my mix.
So I think as you get older, also there's a weird thing that happens as you get older where you legitimately, if you're aging right, I've said this before, you no longer want to do those things. Like I'm not in the club, not because I can't be. I can be. I don't have any kids. I don't have a wife at home. Like I can be in the clubs, but I just don't want to be.
Just literally
like after the show, I want to watch the news and eat chicken nuggets. Sue me.
You're at that stage in life?
Yeah, sue me. It's safer too. It's problems in the streets. It's only STDs and babies.
That is a very great point. It's much safer, just eating chicken nuggets, going home after the club.
Yeah. You work in the club, so it becomes, because I do comedy, so a lot of times comedy's always at a bar. There's always a bar. And every time there's comedy, there's alcohol. So people think that like, oh, you must be always, indulgent. And I'm like, nah, I be never indulgent. Usually it's just work for me.
Yeah.
I couldn't indulge every day.
No, you couldn't. Like your body can't even take that. And then the thing is too, it's just like, you should see people's faces when you're like, nah, I don't want to drink tonight. They're like, what? Mr. Life of the party, Mr. Turn Up. I'm like, that was me 10 weeks ago. Okay.
Right.
Now I'm trying to like live a better life.
Right. No, yeah. I've been considering giving up drinking.
That's a good thing to consider.
I've been considering it. Just because every time I've had drinks, like the next day, I'll just wake up with a crippling anxiety that I don't enjoy. So I'm either gonna stop drinking or start doing hard drugs.
It's one
of those, because I heard when you do hard drugs, you don't get that.
The anxiety.
Yeah, you just keep drinking. Yeah. So I haven't decided, but I'm gonna do one of those.
You gotta let us know.
Yeah, I'll tell the pod.
I feel like the stash is leaning more towards the hard drugs.
I thought about it. It's just I don't know if I could budget it because it gets expensive.
So then stop doing the drips.
Yeah, I might stop doing the drips and hard drugs and alcohol. And then I'll report back and see how the end of the year goes for me.
It was very simple.
Yeah. That's why sometimes this show is like therapy.
Yeah. Talk it out.
We have another call, right?
You definitely got to talk it out.
Let's do another call.
fellas. Big fan of the pod. Shout out to the whole team. Miss Marty B very much. Just had a big question, man. How do you deal with a girl that's clingy, especially when it's not your attachment style? Like, I find that recently in my dating that I constantly deal with girls who want this unrealistic amount of attention. So much so to a girl that I was dating just, after 2-3 weeks just popped up on me. Never shared my location, don't know how she found me, whatever. And she's just like, I just miss you, I just need to be around you. I'm like, yo, but just, that actually turned me off. So what's some pointers on getting the message across, or maybe like what type of girls I should be going after? Because I'm not that type of person. Like, I don't need to be up underneath you 24/7 on the phone to 24/7. I grew up in a house where, immigrants, my parents don't talk to each other until they get home type of vibe. So shout out to y'all again. Once again, appreciate the help.
He sound like he's of the streets, but he also is familiar with attachment styles. So he's very well adjusted, right? Because he's like,
going to school.
How do you deal with a girl who's clingy when it's not your attachment style? First thing I'll say about attachment styles, and I've realized this, it is possible that your attachment styles changes
as you grow,
as you get older,
as you grow.
I didn't know this, but when I was younger, when I was more, when I was outside, my attachment style was more similar to that.
Yes.
Where I did not want the clingy
all the time.
I was moving.
Yep.
But you get a little older and you start thinking about
bitch.
You start thinking about a family and all that stuff, and you're like, maybe, it's nice to feel love.
I'm full bitch.
Yeah.
I need constant texts. Hey, I just think about, I never liked that.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, 2 seconds, why haven't you texted me?
Yeah, what are you doing? Are you sleeping with another man?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care about your diarrhea.
Right.
I need attention.
Send me photos.
Yes.
I think that, because this is a good point that
Great
you bring
point.
up, but I think that the key for him with dealing with clingy women is you need to give affirmations. Women like affirmations. They like to feel secure.
Okay.
They're very insecure people.
But this is, you bring up a good point, because you also are giving off some kind of secure vibes. Because no woman's going to cling to something that's not feeling secure, like they don't feel safe around. Like, they're feeling that way because you're making them feel safe. So you got to
there's an or.
Oh.
There's an or. I learned this through YouTube.
Okay.
Sometimes you can withhold from a woman, and that'll make her clingy.
Want more.
Because you're not giving her what she wants. And it makes her go overly.
She's deprived.
Overly, because she's deprived. I think he should probably consider that. Look within and not without.
That's what it is. You have to turn in.
Yeah, you have to look within.
It starts...
and not without.
It starts on the inside.
Yeah.
And then it radiates outside.
It is possible that you are dealing with these type of women who maybe they didn't have a good relationship with men growing up or their father, and they need this type of affirmation and love. You're not giving it to them, and it's then in turn making them pop up where you at to get the love.
Without even knowing where you was at.
So I found, because I used to have this, I found that it works well when you give them affirmations and then also let them know that you need your space, right? Because there's one thing is like, I understand the whole, we don't need to be texting all day. Like, let's live life, and then we convene at a certain point. You tell me about your day, and then we'll talk. But we don't need every step of the way to be communicating.
That's true. But at the same time too, part of that self-awareness, that looking in, is you can't start out being that way, and then you get a little frustrated, and then you start to taper off. Because I've done that in the beginning. I've done that in the past too, where I was told that yo, you come in strong, texting all the time, good morning, this, that, and the third, and then you start to taper off. So I had to come to that realization, oh, okay, because you could be misleading too. Right?
My middle name is misleading.
Oh, okay.
Ian Misleading Lara.
Oh, how do you spell it?
But
M-Y-S?
Yeah.
Okay.
M-Y-S-S.
Yeah.
But I think that, look, if you can't tell you can't tell a woman who likes you or who's interested in you, you can't be like, hey, don't text me all day. I don't want, you're being too clingy.
Yeah.
I don't want to speak to you. That'll make their vagina dry up like a prune.
Yes.
What you need to do is you need to affirm. And then
it keeps it moist. Out. It keeps it moist.
So, babe, I have a busy day today. I'm not going to be on my phone. I have a busy day today. I have a lot of stuff I want to do, and I don't want you to feel like I'm ignoring you. So I'm going to hit you up when I get done, and I want to hear about your day. So don't fall asleep on me, because I'm going to hit you up later because I want to hear about your day. But I can't be on the phone all day today.
This feels a little too mature, and it feels a little too therapized, and feels a little bit too much like open communication. What are you doing?
Right. No, this is going on here. Within. What? Not without.
What?
Yeah, this is what you do. Yeah. Women like to be manipulated. Carmen, why are you saying yeah? Carmen is like, this is gold. This is gold. It's good. Something good is coming.
No, I was just like, if the person I was dating told me that, I would totally be like, okay, amazing. I can't wait to stay up and tell you. Like, that would work on me.
Of course, it would work on everyone. What do you think? What do you think? We're novice?
You know what?
Do you think we have one of the biggest health and wellness podcasts in the hood just because we decided that we have it?
No, you guys are doctors.
Right. Not technically, you got to say we're not accredited. Yeah. But yeah.
Full Sail University.
I learned the hard way, though. I learned this the hard way.
We had to.
I didn't have a podcast I could call.
University of Phoenix. No, you did it.
I didn't.
We did it.
Growing up, I had to go. It's a lot of arguments, a lot of fights, a lot of girls leaving me crying.
Long text messages telling me how I wasn't shit. Yes. Been through it all. Yeah.
And but that's the thing. You can't. I used to be blunt like that. I used to be like, I'm this way, so just accept that I'm this way. And we're cool. Like, I like you. You're cool. I'm just not the clingy type. So that makes me feel weird. I don't know how to respond to that. Yeah. But women don't like to hear that.
No, you have to communicate.
You have to communicate and manipulate. CM.
There you go. CM. C and M.
Yeah. Communicate
and manipulate.
Yeah, but is it even manipulation? Because it's true. No, like that is how I'm pretty sure that's how he feels.
It's actually just the truth.
Yeah, it's the truth.
Yeah,
I think we just manipulated ourselves.
We did
live on air. That's how good it works. Yeah, wow. That's literally how good it works. You convince yourself that you're not bullshitting.
Ooh, good talk.
That's really good.
That's it. Affirmation. But did we just affirm ourselves?
I think we did live on air. So you could see it's not an act.
It's not.
But I think he actually feels that way. I think he actually feels like, hey, I like you. Let's we'll talk at this point of the day and we'll talk. Now, when it comes to being in person, being in person, because that's another type of clinginess. Like, I don't know. I don't think he mentioned if like he felt like maybe she was like up under him, up under him too much.
Yeah. Well, she showed up to where he was.
She showed up, but that's not like up under him. That's kind of like stalking.
Right. Oh, okay. I didn't. Like so what do you mean by up under him?
I mean, like when you're together, always, like if you're together at the house,
like she's touchy type shit.
Yeah, that she's touching you a lot, or on you. But even with that is, I think the way you speak to to women is before you say what the problem is, you got to give them 100 compliments.
Yes.
Before you get into the problem. If you don't want it to end up into like some big fight.
Big fight.
But generally speaking, I'm generalizing. This is a general podcast, general hospital.
You're still going to get all the negative comments anyway.
You are, but you could be like, but I said that I love you.
No. That doesn't work.
I know, but you need it though.
You need it for your transcript.
Right, yeah, but it's not, it's not gonna help. It's not gonna fix the situation.
Yeah.
But you can't go without it.
It's a catch-22. It's not gonna help. It's not gonna fix it, but you also need it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right. When it comes to in person, I don't know what he means because guys generally don't mind a girl being all up on you until you have sex. Then you probably be like, give me some space.
Leave me alone.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think I understand that. And I've been there too, where it's just like, I didn't know how to communicate. I didn't have the Adulthood podcast so I just ended up ghosting.
Yeah.
I was just like, this is too much. But does that mean that something's wrong with me? Like, I can't take affection? Like, what if she grew up in a household where she saw that and she saw that as normal? Because like
love?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that means I have to work on myself.
Yeah. Not without.
How you do it?
You have to look within, not without. A lot of times we give our problems to other people and we think it's on them and you think you're doing right. But it's like, to our caller, because I've been there, it sounds like, and I only got the story that he told us. Which is so you have to put it in context. I don't know this girl. I don't know the situation.
Yeah.
He continues to run into these situations. It sounds like these women just want to love him.
And he brought up a good point where he said, immigrant household, he didn't see love. His parents don't. Like,
see, I grew up in the same.
Same. Where it's just like, you also have to realize that like what you saw and what you grew up with isn't the norm.
You have to break generational curses.
You have to.
I think I've seen this on TikTok.
Because if it's a recurring thing.
And don't be, this is all, now we're going into just all TikToks. Yeah. But don't be afraid to break the generational curse in your family. Don't be afraid to be the generational curse breaker. Right?
That's a t-shirt.
Because do you want your kids, because to the caller, yeah, that is a t-shirt. To the caller,
general.
Do you want, because the way you say you grew up, which, you know, maybe you grew up in a fine household, but the way you say you grew up where it wasn't a lot of like affection and that type of love is like, once you have a family, you have a kid, do you want your kid to grow up in a place where
same way
he can't accept love because he didn't grow up around it? Somebody got to cut it out, and you don't want to give that to your kids, so you cut it out. Within, not without. So have a talk with her. The getting her to the day, all you gotta do is say, you know, babe, through the days I'm running around. I want to talk to you at night, and you know, tell them, but let them know that it's important to you. Don't fall asleep, you know.
But then if you do lay it out clearly, articulate, with just pure positive intentions, and she doesn't take it the right way, then you know
she's not gonna, of course not.
Oh no, you could be surprised because.
No.
Like Carmen just said, she would love it, right?
Yeah, but she would probably still make a fuss and a fight. I mean, she still is.
That's true. But if it's more than just like a general fuss and a fight, if it turns into a big thing, now you know, like, okay, this isn't the person for you because like you did all of the right things, you took all of the right steps, and it still like ended in a big blow up. Then it's just like, all right.
But to the listener who called, do you get his name?
I don't know if we did.
I don't think he leave his name. We appreciate the call. That was a very well thought out call.
Yeah, shout out.
I think I mean, I've said it, but the answer to your problems, I think, is just communication. Yeah. Don't be so rash. Don't be so cold. Don't tell her, because if we're being honest, it's not that you don't want her around you. It's just that's not what you grew up with, and it doesn't make you feel loved in the way that she's trying to give it. Yeah. But you can have a conversation about that. It doesn't have to ruin it. I don't think a girl, like, there's a spectrum, right? A girl wanting to express love through being around you and touching you is one thing, and a girl popping up at a place when she don't have your location, your address,
and you didn't tell her.
She hired a private investigator so she knows where you're at. There's a middle between that.
Somewhere.
Those are two extremes. So if it's on the one end and you have a stage 5 clinger, then maybe don't deal with that person. But if it's a girl who seems more reasonable, I think you're able to converse, have conversations, and get to an accord.
Yes. And let us know what your insurance is so
we'll bill your insurance. The Adulthood Podcast, volume 78, baby.
Woof.
Thank you guys for listening. You guys, as always, great. We love the adulterers. Please continue to leave positive comments on our reels, positive comments on our YouTube, and give us a good review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and wherever you get a podcast and you can give a review. Give us a thumbs up because that helps the algorithm and gets shared to more people and helps the podcast grow.
And gives us more free clothes.
So please continue to do that. If you want to see me live, I'll be in Sacramento next weekend at the Punchline in Sacramento. Great club, a lot of fun. I'm sure the shows are going to be full. So get your tickets for Punchline Sacramento next weekend. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I'm there.
Boom. You know where to find me.
Panda.
Yep.
Adulthood Podcast, volume 78. Thank you guys. Peace.
Peace.